Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. There's been a lot of news and coverage out there regarding paid for-profit consulting and coaching companies for veterans claims. Now, I'm not going to bore you with all of the prior stuff, but I did want to let you know that there is some action regarding those companies, and I wanted to read you the headline here and we'll jump into it. Now, we have two different kind of sets of rules, right? You can almost look at this like the cannabis industry, right? You have federal laws and regulations, and then you have your state laws and regulations. So this is regarding the state's approach to these for-profit companies. And I wanted to read through it for you here. I'm not really, look, I'm not picking a side. I'm just saying, look, there are free resources out there for you, and in some cases, maybe your situation calls for a paid service. Do I think that they cost too much? Sure, that part I think that there needs to be a little reining in on, but that's really all I'm going to say on that. So let's jump into this. I'm going to read you the headline. Louisiana, now that's the state in which this is taking place. If you're not in Louisiana, it doesn't really matter because the states are looking at each other to see kind of where things are being gauged, how things are being dealt with, and so forth. So even if you're not in Louisiana, this is a movement of something that you might see happening in your state, either in line or in opposition with what Louisiana is doing. Hard to say. So let's jump into it. Louisiana enacts law to let consultants profit off disabled veteran benefit claims. So that is the headline, and I wanted to run through it, see if we could pick out any nuggets and so forth. I want to see if they have any sort of limitations or anything like that with regard to how much these companies can charge. We'll find out in this article, hopefully. This just came out June 7th, and I'm sharing it with you here today. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. All right, let's go. So there's a subheadline: Governor Landry, as Attorney General, previously shut down businesses that now benefit from new law. All right, let's jump into this. Louisiana has quietly enacted a law that allows unregulated companies to profit off the benefit claims of disabled American veterans. Republican Governor Jeff Landry allowed Senate Bill 159, that's a state bill, Senate Bill 159, called the Preserving Lawful Utilization of Services for Veterans, or PLUS Act, to become law by default by refusing to sign or veto it. He's attempting to walk a political tightrope between the bill's, adjacent corporate sponsors and its many opponents, including the governor's own Veterans Affairs Secretary and a long list of federally chartered veteran service organizations such as the American Legion, VFW, and Disabled American Veterans. Now look, here's my take. All right, everybody's up in arms about these profit companies right out there profiting on veterans, and quick to say get rid of them. Here's my take on that, and for everyone to hear. Why did they pop up? Why do they exist? Because we as a community and veteran service organizations did not champion additional funding for the paid state representatives to assist veterans, right? The paid services, the free services, I should say. The government paid services for veterans that are free for the veteran to utilize. So your county veteran service officer, your county veteran service representatives, your state representatives, what have you. Your accredited representatives to assist veterans with their claims, right? This is a highly underfunded section of our kind of, I guess, veteran sphere, right? Highly underfunded. So where were all of these organizations pounding on desks and up in arms that, look, there's veterans that can't be seen for months. These organizations can't be proactive and go on and talk with veterans to get them into the fold, right? So, of course, there's going to be for-profit organizations that open up. Why? Because people are going to come to them for assistance because they can't get it anywhere else or get it in a proactive approach. It's very reactive. A lot, not all, but a lot of free services for veterans that are full-time employees, okay? Not somebody who's accredited that does it every other Thursday. I'm talking about, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, paid representative to assist veterans for free. A lot of these organizations, again, not all, a lot of them are underfunded and very reactionary, meaning that they're basically an order taker. Sure, they know how to file claims, they know how to handle all of that, they get it, they know a lot up here, but as they have an influx of people, right, some of these people have, some of these organizations have, lobbies full of people. It's first come, first serve. It's just walk in only, and you sit down at their desk and there's 30 other people sitting in the lobby. They're just order taking at that point. What do you need to file for? Okay, what do you have? Okay, great. Let's put all this together. Let's get it filed. Now that's obviously a condensed version. There's probably, let's do an intent to file, come back in a month, work on getting that documentation. Let's go. But still, it's order taking. What's your problem? What do you need to file for? Okay, give me the stuff around that. Let's go. They might dig into a couple secondaries, maybe, but they're not sifting through your entire file. Again, there might be some that are. It's just more difficult because they are underfunded. So, of course, these companies come popping up for profit because there's a need, a void that they filled. So I'm kind of a little bit torn with the let's just get rid of them and make it illegal. I think that's not the problem. I think the problem is that there's not enough resources on the free government provided resources side and veteran service organization side. So let's jump back into it. Let's see. So as Attorney General, Landry himself cracked down on the types of businesses the new law will help. It took effect Tuesday. The proposal, sponsored by Senator Stuart Cathy, out of Monroe, deals with the often misunderstood process of filing for military veteran disability benefits. Loopholes in federal law have created an unregulated industry that makes a windfall from claims consulting, a practice illegal under federal law but difficult to enforce. When military members leave the service, they might be entitled to a monthly cash benefit from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs for any service-connected disabilities. To receive them, they have to fill out forms and submit medical records and other related information to support their claim. The VA offers accreditation to anyone who wants to assist veterans in filing their disability claims. Getting the accreditation involves a background check and a written exam to ensure the applicant can navigate the claim system and represent veterans in appeals. Under federal law, it is illegal for anyone without a VA accreditation to provide claims assistance to a veteran, and it is illegal to charge veterans for such assistance. About 40% of complaints to the VA's legal office in 2022 were about non-accredited claims consultants, according to an August 2023 report from military.com. An internet search for VA claims consulting will generate virtually endless listings for non-accredited companies offering claims assistance for obtaining disability benefits or applying for an increase in benefits. Cathy's bill contradicts federal law by permitting unaccredited consultants to charge up to $12,500 for telling veterans how to fill out their disability forms. All right, so sounds like that's the cap. So $12,500, there is a cap. Still a lot of money, right? So $12,500. Typically, these organizations will charge about 6 months, maybe 5. I don't know. I mean, I'm not one of those companies, so I don't really know, and I've never used one. But from what I've seen and read, usually it's about 6 months worth of the increase. So if you increased your monthly benefit by $1,000, right, that's $6,000. If you've increased it by $2,000, well, then that's $12,000. So in a case where a veteran, let's say they're married with a spouse and a child, and they went from 0 to 100%, you're talking about a $4,100 increase, effectively. So 6 months of $4,100, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but 4, right? 6 and 4, so 6, 12, 24,000 and some change would be that number, but this is capped off at 12. So, at least there's some sort of a cap that is less than what it has been. So, moving on. Unbeknownst to many veterans, such services are free and available from numerous sources that the VA that have VA accreditation, including private claim agents, lawyers, and groups such as the American Legion and VFW. Sure. The only problem is, again, sure, there's county veteran service officers accredited. That's probably going to be your biggest number of accredited representatives that are actually out there helping with claims. You also have accredited reps at the state level. And I'll tell you that I was trying to help a veteran who was out of, this is many years ago now, probably 5 years ago. And they lived in Washington State. And I reached out to their state's kind of network of veteran service representatives accredited with the VA and asked, hey, look, we have a vet that needs some help filing a claim and doing this and that, whatever. And they said, yeah, we're not taking on any new clients at this time. Period. Not like, hey, it's going to be a month. It's just no, none. Call us back in the future and we'll see if we have any spots. Why? Because they're severely underfunded. So who suffers? The veteran. Then what happens? Organizations like these, for-profit organizations, pop up and say, hey, look, if you need some help, we'll help you, and we're going to charge you. Again, do I think they charge too much? Sure. Absolutely. I don't think that they should be making more than a real estate agent on a deal, right? But they are. So let's move on. So Kathy's legislation was derived from a federal proposal sponsored by U.S. Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana, but congressional gridlock grounded the bill, prompting its backers to take versions of it to state legislatures. So far, Louisiana is the only state to have approved one. So again, this is why I'm talking about other states. We have to keep our eyes open and see what happens. The biggest thing that I think should happen is, I think there's two things. One, there should be a cap, and I think that there should be layers of caps, right? So presumptive conditions should be like you get $1,000 is the most you can get off of helping somebody with a presumptive condition. As an example, the max is, whatever the number is. I don't know what it is. $8,000 over a 12-month period coming out. Maybe it's based on, maybe there's a max on the number of claims that went through. And it gets a lot and it gets muddied waters, but somehow, some way, it needs to be driven downward some. So anyway, the driving force behind the legislation are two unaccredited claims companies, Veterans Guardian and Veterans Benefits Guide. They have joined forces under a lobbying group called National Association of Veterans Rights, NAVR. NAVR's leader and chief lobbyist is Peter O'Rourke. There you go. The VA secretary from the Trump administration. This landmark law safeguards Louisiana's veterans from exploitation, ensures transparency in VA disability benefit assistance, upholds their autonomy while providing essential protections, and reinforces their rights to choose, O'Rourke said in an email Thursday. Veterans Guardian and Veterans Benefits Guide spent approximately $1.76 million and $960,000, respectively, to lobby for this single issue at the federal level, according to OpenSecrets.org. Those accounts do not include lobbying expenses at the state level. Veteran service organizations have branded the companies as claim sharks and profiteers. A report from the Texas Tribune uncovered one scheme involving a consulting company that pushed veterans to claim medical conditions they didn't actually have and paying referral fees to certain telemedicine providers that help with the diagnostics. One client reported being charged $10,000 for coaching services that amounted to being told to watch 6 hours of pre-recorded videos. And look, that's the stuff that drives me nuts, right? If you've hung on this far, is look, hey, I have all the secrets, and if you just pay me, I'll let you watch these other videos about the same thing that you can find online from me, others, whoever, right? There's a bunch of people doing it. And look, I'm not trying to bash anybody. It is what it is. I mean, people will try to do what they do. So let's move on. One client, that's it. So the pre-recorded videos, don't pay for anything that you're not getting, very specific, detailed about you and your specific situation, because it is very nuanced and there's a bunch of, things that you need to look at. But unless it's really specifically about you, I would be wary of paying for anything that's just kind of like modules. It's not going to, it's the same as watching a lot of the other videos that you can get on here for free from not just me. I'm just saying anybody on YouTube. So let's move on. All right, still, some veterans have expressed gratitude for the unaccredited consultants, saying they were able to secure benefits increasing that other claims agents couldn't get or wouldn't ask for, according to previous reporting in the Illuminator, which is the publication here over in Louisiana that I'm reading this from. O'Rourke has distanced himself or his companies from what he says are the bad actors in the industry. He refutes allegations of profiteering, saying his company helps ease the backlog of VA claims and provides veterans with the choice of paying for assistance. According to the VA, the backlog of claims was around 270,000 as of June 1st and has been steadily declining after reaching over 400,000 last year. Backlogs include claims pending more than 125 days. The decade high occurred in 2013, reaching over 600,000 claims, but fell by roughly a third within 6 months. The most recent spike came from the huge influx of applications following the passage of the 2022 PACT Act, the largest expansion of veterans' benefits since World War II. The notion that a veteran can pay a consultant, or anyone else for that matter, to somehow speed up the disability claim or avoid the bureaucratic logjam at the VA is false, according to veterans advocates and the Louisiana VA. I'm going to stop there. No, it's not going to magically give you some extra road through the process. And I don't really believe, actually, that veterans think that. It's a good talking point, but I'm just trying to be unbiased here. So I think that most veterans understand that the VA is the VA, your claim's going to the VA, and however long it takes is however long it takes, and the VA does screw up. They're not perfect, and there's a chance you could still get denied. What I believe veterans feel here is, I have a paid consultant that is going to look at my situation and give me specific guidance, and they're incentivized to get me approved with the VA. In other words, they are going to really dig in and tell me what I need to do for my specific circumstances with regard to evidence, where I can, what I can do to get evidence. Some veterans think they have to go to the VA and see a VA doc about their situation in order to file their claim, right? They don't. They can go see a civilian doctor and get that done. And, it's shining the light on that specific veteran's circumstances and pointing them in the right direction. And I think that there is a value to that. And yes, it can be provided for free from a veteran service officer, a veteran service organization, a veteran service rep, somebody who's accredited. But again, the problem is that they are underfunded and very reactionary, which means they don't have the time to sit there and spend 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours with you over the course of weeks or months or whatever, right? So again, this is a problem because lawmakers didn't set enough money aside to these county and state workers that provide this service, and the veteran service organizations don't have enough full-time in your backyard accredited representatives. So tell me I'm wrong. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear that there's veteran service officers and representatives out there at the county and state level that are just sitting on their hands because they don't have anything else to do. And there's just a plethora of veteran service organizations out there with just accredited reps that are full-time, okay, not I see people every other week and, full-time, 100% of the time, representatives accredited that are just in the backyard ready, but nobody's coming to them. I would love to hear that I'm wrong, but I know that I am not. So the problem is Congress, states, all of you, the problem is underfunded resources at the county and state level or parish in Louisiana, right? So those services are underfunded, right? Underfunded creates a reactive environment, which means that they're not proactive. They're not going out there getting the word out. They're not shaking hands and getting the word out about the services, and therefore they don't have the ability to bring in new people, and they don't have the ability to sit and really dig into somebody's situation. All right. Let's move on. All claims go through the same path at the VA regardless of who fills out the forms. The unaccredited consultants don't have any special tools or elite access to move a veteran to the front of the line, they said. No kidding. Louisiana VA Secretary Charlton, I don't know, McGinley had lobbied fervently against Kathy's legislation, saying the consultants have deliberately avoided seeking accreditation because doing so would subject them to the same set of rules as the accredited claims agents and private lawyers. Once a person becomes accredited, they can no longer charge high fees or any fees just for helping veterans fill out initial claims forms. They would instead have to work on appeals and more complicated matters in order to earn a commission. Sure, that's probably true, and I'm pretty sure, and this goes back to me saying that the paid consulting companies, right, the for-profit companies, I think that they charge too much, and I think that there should be some sort of better caps in place for them. So our mission is to, here's a quotation, our mission is to serve those who served, connecting them to the benefits they have earned in service to our country, Brandy Patrick, McGinley's spokesperson, said in an email Thursday. Louisiana veterans have access to numerous free services to take advantage of when applying for benefits, including the Louisiana Department of Veterans Affairs federal VA accredited Veterans Assistance Counselors located in parish Veterans Service offices throughout our state. And this is what I was talking about. I'd love to know, how busy are these offices? And I would love to hear from the department heads or whatever they're called for each one of these offices, the Veteran Service Officer for each one of these offices in the parishes throughout the state. Do you feel as though you're adequately funded to provide the full array of benefits and wraparound services for your veteran and spouse and dependent clients? Or do you think you would be more prepared, more able to provide the real rubber meets the road guidance to veterans, survivors, spouses, dependents if you had additional staff? Would you be able to be more proactive and serve veterans better? I'd love to hear it. my guess is that they're not going to go, no, we don't need anything. We're good. We have so much ability and latitude here that we could spend all the time we need with anybody who comes through our door. And I get it. You want to do that, but the reality is that this is a small blip on the radar in the big picture, sadly. And now it's starting to get some attention, so who knows what will happen. The governor's decision to let this bill become law is a stark reversal of his previous stance on the issue. Prior to becoming governor, Landry investigated and shut down unaccredited claims consultants while serving as attorney general. He accused Baton Rouge-based VETCOMM Professional Services of exploiting veterans by helping them fill out VA forms and then taking a cut of their benefits. Landry was also one of 44 state attorney generals who signed a letter urging Congress to support the countermeasure to Kennedy's bill and reinstate penalties to unaccredited claims consultants. The governor's office did not respond to a request for comment for this report. So, again, this is a long video. My stance is that these companies are an absolute byproduct of the severe underfunding to the free resources that should be there for veterans in their backyards to be able to get the help that they need, whether they're a veteran, a surviving spouse, a dependent, whoever it is seeking benefits should be able to walk into an office, be seen within a week, and be able to spend the amount of time that they need in multiple visits or what have you to get everything that they need completed with their claim, whether it's for federal veterans benefits or state benefits. Just my opinion that it's a byproduct that these things came up because of the underfunding of these other organizations. So with that, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.